Okay, guys, this is part two. In part one, we realized that Jesus Christ was present at the time of Moses. This is part two of this conversation. Let's take a look at it.
For what it's worth, I have no problem saying that Hebrews has a high Christology. That's kind of not an issue to me. But I think it is interesting to suggest that as a retort to the idea of the angel of Yahweh being Jesus, I think that is an excellent point. Yeah.
Yes.
Great job, Adrian.
You see why? You do not want to go to Hebrews if you're trying to argue against the pre-existent, pre-incarnate Christ,
Right.
which, thankfully, Alex was intellectually honest enough to concede and say, you know what, this does seem to show that Jesus did pre-exist, and it, is a good retort against my argument that Jesus is not the angel of the Lord. This is a good retort here. We got a concession out of Alex O'Connor with just one passage in Hebrews. That's Hebrews chapter 11. We're going to talk about Hebrews 1. I went to Hebrews chapter 11, and that showed it. There's so many gems
Right.
in the book of Hebrews that shows how Christ pre-existed that I just couldn't imagine being a Unitarian or being someone who goes against the deity of Christ or his claims of being God, being Yahweh. I couldn't imagine. I would wish that Hebrews didn't exist. I would wish that the book of
1.
Hebrews was not in the Bible so that I can hold my point. I would not go here. So we got a concession from Alex, which is beautiful. It's amazing. And we see here, and for those of you guys who didn't understand the point, we have Moses back in the times of Egypt.
Yes.
The Bible says that he did not consider the pleasures of Egypt and the riches of Egypt to be anything. In fact, he rather suffered with the people of God during the Exodus because he feared the reproach of Christ. Now, you guys saw it. This means that Christ pre-existed, and it was in the presence of Moses. Moses was aware of Christ, was in his presence, and feared him, had a respect and a reverence for Christ before we get Christ being born of a human. Who was that? That's the angel of the Lord, the messenger of Yahweh. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, angel in the Hebrew is just malach. It just means messenger. So it doesn't tell you what type of being that messenger is. It could be a spirit creature, like a regular angel that we know of, or a human messenger, right? Or it could be the second person of the Trinity, the Son of God, right? Who we know is the messenger of Yahweh, or the angel of the Lord. And so this particular person reveals himself to be divine. Now, guys, he quoted Hebrews 1. We could have stayed in Hebrews 1. I just I just couldn't believe it. Hebrews 11 good. Hebrews 1 shuts this down. And you guys know it. We've been through this. You guys have seen it yourself. If you've been watching this channel, you've seen it enough. Hebrews 1, you cannot go to Hebrews 1 and think that it's not going to teach the pre-existent Christ. Look, this is what we have here, guys.
Let's look at it.
In Hebrews 1, this is how it starts off with, just like how Alex read it, right? Long ago, at many times and in many ways, God spoke to our fathers by the prophets, but in these last days, he has spoken to us by his son. Now, this is where Alex stopped. He stopped there.
Oh.
He did not quote the full verse.
That's true.
Watch what the full verse
He didn't
says
read the whole thing.
in verse 2. But in these last days, he has spoken to us by his son, whom he appointed the heir of all things, through whom he also created the world.
Jesus created the world.
So you mean to tell me in the same verse that Alex quotes, it literally says that Jesus pre-existed the world. And in the Hebrew, in the Greek, it actually means the ages, the times. Jesus pre-existed the times and created the times. Huh?
All right.